We'll get started. Kelly Eco.
Coach, just overall, how was the past 2 days in practice and just preparing for tonight's game, knowing that this is a Thunder team that's young, athletic, go up and down the court?
Yeah, the last couple of days have been good as far as our preparation is concerned. Yesterday we did some defensive stuff, got some shots up, really concentrating on our approach tonight and our readiness to play. Obviously, if we kind of stick to the same formula that we've had over the last few games, we will have some level of success, but we don't want to rest in that either. So a lot of film work individually with guys, as a group, making sure that they realize why it is that we're playing as well as we are. And most of it's on the defensive end, but it's also the ball movement and that sort of thing. So the last couple of days have been a lot about taking care of some details, making sure that their bodies are good going into this game, and reminding them of the things that we do well so we can make it a habit and not have to remind ourselves over and over and over again that our success relies on the defensive end and with our ball movement.
Thank you.
Adam Spolin.
Stephen, when you're playing a team back-to-back games like this, do you ever do something in the first game that you want to use to kind of set up the second game?
At this point, not right now. Maybe as we get further down the line, but no, we're doing our best to take each of these games individually and do our best to win this game, and then make the adjustments to win the next game. But no, we're not really trying to set up anything moving forward. We're actually trying to just establish our style at this early juncture of the season.
James Herbert.
Hey, Stephen. I want to ask about a lineup you used. Last game you started the fourth quarter with a lineup with 5 guys between 6'3" and 6'6". They're switching everything. You haven't used it a ton. You did use it early in the year. I think the Sacramento games, the same spot, the fourth quarter, went on a run. What do you like about that group, and what are you sort of looking for when you put them out there?
Yeah, I like their energy. Most of the guys are defensive-minded guys that I have out there on the floor. The switchability is I wouldn't necessarily say a curveball, but it's just different than the way that we had been playing earlier in the game. And it just gives the offense something to think about, something different. As long as we're rebounding with that group, and that's a challenge because we are so small, I like to have that group out there at some points of the game. Obviously, with Christian playing so well and Cuz playing well, it's hard to get to that small ball lineup, but there are times where we can kind of change the game up a little bit with those defensive-minded guys, get our energy up, get up and down the floor, and get into our switching.
Thank you.
Brian Bearfield.
Coach, what is it about their transition defense that may be an issue for you all tonight?
They get back. They're an energetic team. They are young and they play hard, and we can't be surprised by them either running at us and trying to score easy baskets, or getting back in transition, getting their defense set and forcing us to be a more half-court team. So we just have to make sure that we have the correct approach. And I'm going to keep using that word, but the approach is everything to this game, because we can't be surprised with how hard this team plays and how fast they can play on both ends of the floor.
Adam Spolin.
Same starters tonight?
Same starters. Yes, sir. Three games in a row.
Ben DeBose.
Coach, the NBA listed you as a nominee for Western Conference Coach of the Month. Given everything that you've had to deal with in basically your first 6 weeks on the job, does it mean something to get a little bit of personal validation for your performance like that?
I didn't even know that, to be to be honest with you. You're the first person who told me that, so that's pretty cool.
Okay, well, you were a nominee. Quinn Snyder won it, but you, Frank Vogel, and Ty Lue were the nominees.
How about that? That's pretty cool. Wow. Yeah. You know, it's a testament to the players and their, wow, that's cool. It's definitely a testament to the group and to my assistants and all that stuff, but that's surprising to me. Just because, you know, you kind of take it day by day and you just kind of grind it out, and this has been quite the grind, as you know, and to get recognized at some level for it is cool stuff.
Jonathan Fagan.
It's an honor just to be nominated, right?
Absolutely. Wow.
If you ever win an Oscar, now you'll have the, or if you're ever nominated. At this stage of the season, a quarter of the way through, do you do anything in terms of rotation and combinations that's with experimenting in mind? Or is it strictly what's needed that game, that part of that game?
Yeah, at this point, it's kind of what's needed that game, that part of that game. You know, we're 500 and we're fighting and we're clawing, and we haven't been together very long, and we're trying to figure each other out. This might be game 4 for John and Vic playing together, and you know, with Christian going out for those couple games, now coming back. We're just trying to find a groove, trying to find chemistry amongst those starting guys. So as of right now, we kind of are who we are, and we're going to roll with that just so we can find some continuity in this craziness that we have going on in this season.
David is kind of different than the guys who would fill in. Does that factor in at all, or do you plug in a guy and, you know, do it with the same group that he had been playing with?
Yeah, that's such a good point. I mean, David is very different, but Ben will have an opportunity, and he brings something different as well, his shooting ability. I may go 9 and Ben might not get a chance, or I'll go 10 and give Ben some minutes, and that kind of will be based on how the game is going. But yeah, David is a special guy, especially on the defensive end, and then his drive, his ability to drive the ball is really good too. So replacing him is not an easy thing.
Do you have more clarity on how long he might be out?
Not really. He seemed to be moving pretty well today, but you know, I don't have a clear vision of what it looks like for him for the next or OKC game or the Memphis game.
Thank you.
Yep.
Kelly Eco.
Hey, Coach, with this being such a long road trip, have you guys done anything unconventional, like just to keep guys engaged or build chemistry or just to pass the time, you know, with all these days on the road?
Yeah, not yet. The rules are have us kind of locked down in the hotel. I think the players are going to do a players only dinner, which will be great. It'll be great for those guys to get away from the hotel and get into an approved restaurant and have a private room and enjoy each other. Today we talked about the first day of Black History Month, and I asked the guys if they knew who the Jackie Robinson of the NBA was, and none of them knew. They when I told them that it was Earl Lloyd, they were like, "Oh yeah, that's right," but they didn't know about Nat Sweetwater Clifton or Chuck Cooper. Those 3 guys integrated the NBA in 1950. So we talked about that as a group, and you know, any opportunity that we can have to kind of make this a little bit more normal, even though we are kind of shipped from hotel to arena, we're going to take advantage of.
Thank you.
And last question, Brian Bearfield.
Coach, over the last 4 games, you all are averaging 13 more points than you did before. I know you take pride in your defense, but does that show that your offensive players are starting to find their spots and starting to get the continuity?
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to find our rhythm offensively for sure. Playing 5 out isn't a natural thing for some guys, and kind of the way that we do it with quick actions or trying to beat the defense down the floor quickly, it takes a little while for guys to get used to. But part of it is our defense is better. So we're not playing against the set defense quite as much, and we're rebounding the ball and pushing it up the floor, and we are passing ahead to teammates who may have an opportunity to drive the ball. So part of our improvement on the offensive end is due to our defense, but also guys getting more comfortable playing with each other and playing within the system.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
Appreciate your time.